Hello, lovely yarnies. Welcome to episode 12 of What's Up Biscotte Yarns with Julie. I am Julie, filming from our shop in Northvale, New Jersey, where I am one of the teachers on staff. We offer both private and group lessons, as well as sometimes a project-based class. We have two slated for the month of August and September. The one in August is just a one-off class, a series of one class, where we're going to learn how to use double-pointed needles, or DPNs. In that class, you will also learn how to work a very simple cable stitch. And the project we will do in that class is a cup cozy designed by yours sincerely. And here it is in use. I like to repurpose things, so if you're curious what is going on here, this is just an old jar that I am repurposing. I made a cold brew before I came into the shop to do this filming, so here it is, putting the cozy to use. You can't really see, but I can tell you the jar is like somewhat wet from the condensation. So having the cozy, it kind of mops up the wetness from the jar. So it keeps things not messy and my hands dry. But in addition to pairing well with a cold drink, it will also work well with a hot beverage to prevent your hands from getting burned from the hot drink inside the cup. Of course, you should still exercise caution when using the cupsy with the hot drink because it may not protect your hands 100%. So use common sense, use caution. Now the class, getting back to the class, a little bit more detail if you're local and interested in joining us. The class will take place on Wednesday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in our Northvale shop. The fee will include not only the instruction, but also the materials required for the project. I forgot if I said this already, but the pattern I designed is a free download on my Ravelry shop, and I'll put down a link below. So we will have a copy printed out for you, included in the package. But the other items included in the fee are a cable needle, a set of double-pointed needles, as well as the yarn itself. The yarn we will use is Estelle Suds. It's not necessarily this colorway. You can choose your own color, and we have a very healthy selection of this yarn. We have solid colors, not self-striping, but like striped colors, and this kind of sprayed color, variegated, you can see up close. And the resulting product using that yarn is this. I'm gonna hold it up one more time. So all that, like I said, will be included in the fee. The other project we have, project-based class we have slated for September is the Mae Fingerless Mitten class. And that design, again, is by me. This one, the pattern is for purchase, also on my Ravelry shop. Here it is, a fingerless mitt. I used Biscotte Yarns Bis Sock. This is from the Sock Club. I believe this was from the June subscription. I think it will also look nice. My original design was also a little variegated yarn, but I want to do a version in solid color. I think that will look nice too. That will show off the lacework a little bit better. So the lacework, as you see, is very simple. For those who haven't tried it before, we will go in depth about, lacework in general, and of course, how to work this stitch in particular. So for the Mae Mittens class, it's a series of 3 classes, and we will meet the 1st, the 2nd, and the 4th September, Wednesday in September. And the time is the same. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the fee will also include all the materials. And once again, you will get to choose your choice of yarn from our Biscotte collection, and there are a lot of options for you to choose from. All this information is in the description box below, and they are also posted in our Facebook group. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and join our Biscotte Yarns Northvale Store Facebook group. I'm not sure if those are the right order of words, but I think you get the idea. But the proper name is also posted below. Now, before I talk about the projects for in this episode, and there are going to be 4, by the way, a sweater, a hat, a sock, and a throw, like a blanket throw. I want to share with you some footages from my field trip to Lancaster, Pennsylvania yesterday. Interweave hosted their Makers Festival this past week, and the last day was yesterday. And I had a really good time hanging out with my bosses, as well as meeting some new fiber friends. I don't work retail at the store. I'm only a teacher there. So it was a different and fun experience for me to kind of work the retail side of the store. And I got to chit chat with the customers and also help them put together kits and matching colors and stuff like that for whatever they had in mind. So it was definitely a good time. Here you go. Coming up is a short footage of the rest of the show as seen by me. Hi everyone, so I made it to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm at the Interweave Yarn Fest, or the Makers Fest, and here behind me is the booth, our booth, Biscotte Yarns, and there's Patrick, our boss, one of the owners, and I wanted to take you around on a quick tour as to what this event is all about today. Here we are, right across from our booth, are beads. There are many bead vendors here. We're surrounded by beads. I feel like there should be a magpie for a mascot for the amount of shiny little stones and pieces here. Here we are coming to a stand here, rose blue beads, and they have a huge selection. If you remember one of the earlier episodes, I have talked in depth about how we can incorporate beadwork into our knitting or our crochet work. So there was this shawl that one of our patterns, we had used some beads, and the other one was the yellow fish, if you remember how the designer was inspired by her diving trip, and she had also incorporated a little bit of beadwork. And these are like the perfect size. I'm gonna pick one up to show you up close. I think these would be a great size to incorporate it in your fingering weight yarn, maybe, to add some interest and bling to your knitting or your crochet work. In addition to the many bead vendors, there are also some quilt display. And here is another wall of good old traditional art. And here are a couple of pictures that we took with the editors of Interweave towards the end of the show. They came by to say hello, and we had a nice chat. And of course, I had to grab them and get some photo op with the ladies. I'm sorry if the background noise is a little distracting. The vent is kicking in, thankfully. It is so hot. So we're in August and the weather should be hot, and it is still toasty hot outside, but before you know it, it's gonna be sweater weather. It cannot come soon enough for me. So I figure we're gonna morph away from the summer knits like we did in the previous episodes and talk more about cooler weather knits. And for today's episode, the patterns that we're going to talk about are all colorworks, Fair Isle, stranded colorwork. So let's dive right into it. And in the meantime, please forgive the background noise. Please be humane. Let me turn the AC on because it's really, really hot. So this sweater is designed by Andrea Yetman. It is called Brei, B-R-E-I, and it was knitted with Louise Roberts collection DK Pure. There were 3 colorways used for this project. The contrasting colors are vanilla and Mouton Noir, which is like a dark charcoal gray color. Nice. And then the main color is this brownish color, and it's called Chopin. You need multiple skeins of this, depending on the size that you knit, and then you will need less than 1 skein of the contrasting color to work the color work section. The needle size used for this project are US 5 and 6, the larger one for the main body of the sweater. And the gauge you need to get is 23 stitches to an inch. So if you need to adjust your needle size to get 23 stitches, definitely do so. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sizes in this pattern, with the resulting circumference of the yoke ranging from 36.5 inches to 61 inches. So it's pretty size inclusive. The construction of the sweater is from the top down. You will work the ribbing a little bit with the main color Chopin, and then you're going to start working with the contrasting colors. The yoke increase are done in between the color work, so you don't have to worry about doing your alternating the colors of the yarn and doing the increases, counting the increases at the same time. So you do one and then you do the other. The sequence is a really, really nice flow. So after the Fair Isle part is done, then you split for knitting, excuse me, you don't split for anything. You split for the armhole, that's what you split. You'll hold the stitches here for the stitches for the arms to be worked on later in the main color down to the cuff. But for the remaining of the torso, you work your way down, and then you know, for however long you want, or just follow the pattern as prescribed, and then you would do the ribbing to finish the work. This pattern, actually, here's another commonality for all the patterns that we're going to talk about today. This and all the other patterns are all free downloads on our website. So I don't know why you wouldn't use our yarn, but if you do choose to use another maker's yarn, but you really dig this pattern, it is a gift from us to you. Happy knitting. Next up on our list to talk about is a hat. This is called the Silk Garden Hat, designed by our very own Louise Roberts. I would love to put this on for you and model it for you, but it is really, really hot. So I'm not gonna ruin the samples with my sweat and disgustingness. But here it is up close. This one is knitted with Noro. Silk Garden is their the line. The design here is the and I told you it's got all Fair Isle today. Here is the motif, and then you work several pattern repeats of this motif to make up the hat. And then if you want, you can also add a pom-pom on top, because pom-poms are always a really good choice to top off your hat, because it's fun and it's stylish. And these ones we carry are vegan, so for those who's actually, you wouldn't be vegan if you were knitting with wool, right? So doesn't matter, it's all good. Okay, so the yarn used for, oh no, let's talk about the pattern first because I was talking about it already. Sorry about that. So this is knitted from the brim up. You start with the main color, and then after the ribbing is done, you start doing your color work, which in the pattern, it's charted. So there's no written out instruction for this. So you have to be, understand how to read the color charts to work this pattern. And then once you're done with that, let me open this up a little bit so you can see the really cool star-like top that Louise had added on top, along with the crown decrease, and then the pom-pom on top, which you can add if you wanted to. The sizing for this hat is only one size, but I think it's pretty standard. On me, it was like a little bit loose, but because of the ribbing, like it's not gonna fall off my head or anything like that. And if you have a bigger head, or if you have a regular head with puffy hair, I think you'll be fine too, because there is wool content in the yarn, so that there is, you know, a little bit of stretchability built into the fiber itself, plus the ribbing of the stitch pattern that, as you know, buys you some stretchiness, so you'll be fine. So here are the yarns used. Here's the Noro. We don't have the main color, this lighter color, in stock. I guess it's pretty popular, but the contrasting colors are these guys. The fiber content of the Silk Garden Solo is 45% silk, 45% mohair, and 10% of wool. It doesn't feel, it feels really soft, but textured. I guess it's the nature of the silk, and there is mohair in here, but I can't really see the mohairiness of the yarn. It's not as halo-y as, you know, 100% mohair, I guess, but there is characteristic of that. So a combination of silk and mohair, which are two pretty sturdy fibers. This is really good yarn to work with. It's not plied, so you don't have to worry too much about the yarn breaking if you have to tug at the yarn a little bit harder. I don't know why you would need to, but in the off chance that you do, I think you should be okay. And the colorways of this I am going to list in the description box, so if you want to, and also throw in the link to the pattern, so if you want to make that in time for the colder weather, there you'll have everything you need. Next up we have a sock, and this one is a longer sock. It's the Christmas socks, Christmas in August. Usually the socks we talk about are like your regular crew, excuse me, regular crew length, or do you call it crew? About 6-7 inches long, right, halfway to your calf. And we've also talked about, you know, shorty socks, which is great, but here is one that is long, that goes up to your knee. This is called the Christmas sock. I think you can figure out why. Very Nordic themed, the way that this was designed. So this sock is knitted from the cuff down, and then you start doing your stranded color work, first with the stars or snowflake, and then you have your reindeer, more snowflake business, and then here's a variation, like this is the front of the leg, and then you have like the big diamond snowflake, which is flanked, if you will, by the regular snowflake. And then here is the back where your calf will be, a little triangle here with some ribbing here for your calf, which is like the bulkier part of your leg, right? So there is room for that. And then well, here you can see the diameter is already bigger, and then you're tapering down. But this part, as I was trying to say, like kind of helps you ease into the skinnier part of your leg. So continuing on, you have more, you have Christmas trees down here right before your instep, and then for the instep, this design, and then for the foot, it's not boring stockinette, but this business, and then the toe in the solid color, darker color, and the heel for this sock is heel flap construction, which is very friendly for many different foot types, high arches, low arches. It's ideal for multi-feet. And the yarn used for this project, let me get this together, excuse me, it's buried in here. It's from our Biscotte Yarns Flannel. Here you are. And this is the colorway Biscuit for the lighter color, and I can't pronounce this, Acajou, which is this. I have a suspicion that this is also Acajou, A-C-A-J-O-U. I have a suspicion this is also a French word, but I don't know what it is. So here's the colorway for that sock. The fiber content of the Flamel, F-L-A-M-E-L, is 60% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 20% alpaca. It is a fingering weight yarn, and it's a little bit halo-y with the alpaca. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Like, you can see a little fuzzy, alpaca-y, halo-y effect there. It is very soft. It is very nice. I haven't tried knitting with this yarn yet, but I see in the very near future that I'm going to try these out. I don't think I will knit socks with them personally because my skin doesn't agree with the halo-y stuff like mohair, alpaca, angora. I find it really prickly, but that's just me. But I do want to try this yarn because it feels really yummy as I'm talking to you about it. I'm like, I don't want to put it down. I'm thinking I want to make a shawl with it. I think I will be able to tolerate using this yarn as a shawl because I'm gonna have layers underneath, and then I'm gonna throw this over, and I don't have to like wear it as a kerchief, you know, just, you know, on my shoulder and wrap around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out for sure. Flamel is the yarn. And that's, oh, one more. So those were 3 patterns, and then the 4th one is the Croft Woodside throw. Speaking of Christmas, I showed you the Christmas sock, and now I'm really gonna get you into the Christmas mode here. Here is the project. It's a very good size throw, and this is from the West Yorkshire Spinnery. They are overseas, and the yarn used, and here, let me flip the bag over so you see the amount of yarn you will get in this kit. You will get a lot of yarn in very Christmassy colors. The yarn used here is 100% Shetland wool, so they are going to be very rustic, very durable, very good. We are doing, actually the pre-sale is already, oh no, actually no, we are still doing the pre-sale because we're going to start sending these kits out starting August 15th. So that's coming up in a week and change. We do have some in the store, so if you are local, you want to come by and pick up your kit. This is going to be a big project, so even though we're in July, no, we're not in July, we're in August. So even though we're just in August and it's still like super hot outside, if you chuck away at this project little by little, then it will be ready, you know, by your fireside on Christmas, on time. So you don't have to stress out about rushing to get this huge project done. The project, like this whole kit, includes all the yarns, obviously. It's really heavy, I'm gonna put it down. So it includes all those yarns as well as the project, the pattern, excuse me. So the pattern itself is a free download, but everything will be packaged up for you. One more thing I wanna tell you, which is not totally yarn related. Ooh, almost dropped my iPad, and that won't be good. Excuse me. Here is a notebook. In addition to yarns and little trinkets and stuff like that, Biscotte Yarns also sell this. This is a notebook from the Louise Roberts collection. It is a notebook, very traditional, lined with a little date space here for you to manage your projects, or your thoughts, your dreams and hopes and plans and whatever you want to put in it. So it's a very versatile notebook, and it also comes with a pen that is attached to the notebook. So this one, for a limited time, will be a free gift to you if you make a purchase of $100 or more, or you could have this for just $2 if you have make a purchase of $50 or more. So that's a pretty good deal, pretty good tool to keep your life and all of your projects in check. Thank you so much for staying with us to the end of episode 12. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. If you have plans to work on any of the projects that we talked about in today's episode, or use any of our yarns, and you are active on social media, please post your pictures and tag us, Biscotte Yarns, because we truly do want to follow your knitting and crocheting journey, to see your whips as well as your lovely finished objects. Until next time, happy crafting.